This show, I do think this season, honestly, was way better entertainment wise than the first season. I do think the characters were way more likable and enjoyable in the first season, though. And for some reason, they decided to give us the origin of a random character that didn't really have that much of plot relevance in Purge 2. There's a dude that has a god mask. And they decided to give us an origin for that random dude. I honestly don't remember if he did anything important. And, you know, the season. I mean, the movie. But apparently he did. So, this show opens up with something that I didn't really find funny. Opens up with this girl thinking she's getting a commercial job, but apparently she's going to be like the new lady to do the purge or whatever. And for some reason, she thinks the purge is going to be like a movie or something. And it's already been established that the purge is like everywhere besides like a few countries, so you'd think everybody would know about it. Especially since it happens once a year and it includes murder and shit. And apparently she's never heard of it, and the scene ends with her going, "So, are we doing this for a movie or something?" And that doesn't matter. We never see her again or those characters again. So we do get one of the things I did find really interesting. What happens to people that commit crimes off purge? We've never heard anything about this. So, Tommy goes back to get money and he steps over the bank line with one foot, but the other foot does not make it over the bank line before the sirens ring. So he's committed a major felony. So now the cops are beating the shit out of him with batons and they take him to jail. And we find out that they kill anybody that goes to jail once purge comes back around. So they just kill him a year later, or they give him to other people, other rich assholes that pay them. And then they get killed by those guys. So it makes sense. People that commit crimes off purge simply just get killed. Since why would you commit crimes on any other day when you're able to do it with no repercussions on purge? So the government's not going to let you commit crimes. The origin to the God mask is pretty fucking stupid. And they set up him as like a major villain. Though I don't think it's going to go anywhere with any other Purge movies or stuff. And this show's clearly done and over with. But this dude and his friend decide to go take a picture of this thing called the Suicide Bridge. Which apparently people kill themselves on Purge so they don't get killed. And then the government cleans it up before anybody can see it. Which I don't understand how they do that. They just go straight to the suicide bridge instead of helping victims, I guess. Or making sure people aren't committing crimes off purge. They're just like, yeah, let's go unhang people that are already dead or something, so people won't see that. Okay. So they go and they get a picture. The one dude's an asshole and jokes about it being the friend's girlfriend. So he just kind of runs off and he follows him. Eventually, they see this girl screaming. So the nicer dude decides to go in there and help her. The thing closes on him, and we get the dude with the god mask. He kills the girl in front of him, and then he tries to rape him. Because apparently this dude is gay. And, instead of kidnapping guys, he kidnaps a random girl to kill. Weird. Because he says, shh, everything's gonna be okay, and then he starts pulling down his pants. Of course, he gets killed. And now this dude has gone insane. Now he just wants to kill all the time. And he takes the bloody god mask and he keeps it. And now he is the god killer that we saw. Apparently, in I think it was Purge Anarchy. And then he shaves his head. Yeah, that dude's black. I did not remember him being black. So it's not even the same dude. Though they do make sense, I guess, why this dude has it. Since, later in the show, they fucking, they sell the mask while he's an active killer, which actually aged pretty well because of the Jeffrey Dahmer show that came out. And now there's a bunch of stupid parents letting their kids dress up as a real life serial killer. They have a line where they actually talk about that. And this is obviously way before the Netflix Jeffrey Dahmer show. But they're like, don't you think it's in poor taste to make a mask of an active serial killer that's killing off Purge? And like, people love controversy. And people are gonna buy it. Same shit with the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff that's happening. The only actual thing we learn about any LGBTQ in this show, I don't expect a show that's just about killing people to have gay people in it. But our only representation in this show is a rapist. And then later, when the same thing I was just talking about, the God mask being made, they're like, oh, we should make some rainbow masks for the LGBTQ. And that is their only mention. It's like, hey, let's give gay people masks to kill in the Purge. Like, okay, cool. All the other characters are straight. And a lot of their relationships don't make sense. Like, one of the main bank robbers falls in love with the dude that gets his friend locked up. Like, I get it. She realized her mistake. She's trying to become a better person, but I don't see why he would fall in love with her. That's another thing this show does. After the third or fourth episode, they don't focus on timelines, really. Like, each episode is only like a day after, but after the third or fourth episode, they just love skipping months and shit. Unlike the first season, though, the first season was all about one day, just the Purge. This season, the first episode's about the Purge, the other episodes are about following up to the Purge, and then the very last episode is the Purge again. Of course, we get kills throughout the show, because the dude with the god mask is killing people because he's obsessed with killing people. So he kills a few people here and there off Purge. Because, gotta keep the people entertained. It was just dumb. I did not like his character. And his friend, for some reason, survives, even though he's a fucking jerk. Like, maybe if he just had that poor taste joke about his girlfriend committing suicide. Because, that was joking that one of the people that committed suicide was his girlfriend. That's just a very bad joke. Maybe if it was just that. But you know what we find out? Just a few episodes in, the dude fucking sexually harasses a girl. And they never mention that in the show at all. There's no lines about it. He's kind of drunk, which is no excuse. And he goes up to this girl and tries to kiss her multiple times when she tells him no. Eventually, he gets pissed and goes off, and he goes upstairs. And the dude that's been killing people off Purge goes to kill him. But he's like, oh, my brother died in the military, or blah, 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 or something like that. And he's like, I can't help but think, oh, I completely forgot to mention this. When, you know how they were on the Purge, and then the one dude gets the cage slammed, and then that dude tries to rape him? Well, his friend left him to die. So, later, when that happens, he's like, oh, I can't help but think maybe one of his friends left him behind to die. I'm so sorry, man. I wish I could have done it differently. If I could, I would. We find out that's a fucking lie later, when he basically leaves Scott to die. Scott's just this random roommate we know nothing about. because it's like a college house that has multiple people in it. We get these two people of color, this dude with glasses, Scott, and then of course the two kind of main characters, the god killer dude and him, the dude that sexually harassed a woman, and he survives the entire show, and he's one of the main characters trying to stop the purge at the end of the show. No, fuck him, bro. So, wasn't the biggest fan of this show. There's a lot wrong with it, to be honest. Oh, another thing I thought was dumb. They acknowledged that a person was killed off purge multiple times. Yet for some reason in the final episode he's like, I'll distract them long enough until the sirens ring. So they can't kill you. They'll have to arrest you. What? How many times have you fucking acknowledged that this one girl, Olivia Hughes, has been killed off purge? Off purge. They broke into her house and framed it as a suicide. And you think you're gonna be safe because the purge bells fucking ring? Stupid motherfuckers. Of course it doesn't work. They get a call in, and they're like, the orders are the same, eliminate her. And she gets like this smug ass smirk on her face. She's like, I told you. And then she gets shot in the head. Bye bye, Esme. And then the show ends with, since he did a broadcast, that's why he was distracting them. And admitting that, people get killed off the purge, causes more violence, it does shit to the brain. Purge doesn't actually help. So the show ends with a few of our main characters and side characters trying to stop the purge, which includes the weird dude that sexually harasses women and makes bad jokes.